So beverage-wise, what have you got with you today then, Pete? I've got my
I
bottle.
I forgot my drink. Today it's white soda because I'm not feeling the best.
Oh well.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that.
It's called Old Jock Scotch Ale.
Wow, you got a lot of stuff there.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it's the dude's studio. I used to nick all his whiskies.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, by the way, did you met Eric Hosey a couple of times at the rallies? Eric Hosey.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to speak to him? Because I remember one of the best moments for me at the rally, Manitowoc 2019, was the fact that you and Laurie were sat, albeit sort of at the back. But as soon as you arrived, I wanted to come across and have a quick word with you, and see how things are going. But did the dude get a chance to have a chat with you?
No.
No.
I saw him. He came and shook my hand, but
yeah.
No, I never really did get a conversation with him.
Yeah.
I saw him going around to a lot of people. There was a lot of people there, so.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that, Pete, it's bound to be difficult. The Netflix Making a Murderer came out. What was it? The December 2015. I mean, I take it you've watched all 20 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. just the once, or like me and others, we've watched it multiple times.
Just kind of once, because certain things kind of.
Well, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Jazz, all I can say is it's one of the best books you can possibly buy, along with Illusion of Justice by Jerome Booting, and of course John Farrack, Wrecking Crew. I would say also Sean Atwood's book, which was, what the hell was it called? Unmaking a Murderer. I have to think about that, because at the moment I've lent it to a pupil, and she's had it quite a while now. So I keep forgetting to. She keeps saying she's gonna find it, but I've a funny feeling it's buried somewhere. Yeah, Unmaking a Murderer. There are some excellent books out there, and I'm getting through. It's been slow going. Getting through Richard Leo's book, The Police Interrogation and American Justice, and of course Richard Leo was one of the experts that came and testified at Brendan's post-conviction hearing.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you remember seeing him.
Yeah.
I know you know, as you say, it's kind of difficult for you. You've been through it all, you've seen it all already. The case sort of unfold. I mean, as I say, I'm going to let you do all the talking, because they look. People have to put up with me for hours on end during the week. Come a Saturday, they want a break from me, and they want to listen to you. Yeah. So, thoughts on the various lawyers that have represented Brendan?
I don't know. What's his last name? Stinchinsky. I think he.
Let's start with Len Kaczynski.
Yeah, Len.
And everybody in the chat after we go meow.
Yeah. Yesterday, they did that too. He kind of reminded me of not any offense against you, like a former band member for Alvin Stinchinsky and the Boys for Polka.
I thought it was quite funny when we see him and he's got trousers that are too short.
Yeah.
At the bottom, and you see the socks and the shoes, and
those are called high water pants. Yeah.
I mean, that guy is actually is not as stupid as he looks and as stupid as he comes out. Really? He knew exactly what he was doing, didn't he? Sorry.
He came over as like kind of Steve Urkel to me, if you ever saw that show.
Steve Urkel.
Steve Urkel. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw that show.
No, I'll have to check that one out. Steve Urkel. I thought you were saying Sergeant. No. It was Sergeant Bilko, wasn't it? That was it. Sergeant Bilko. Yeah, he was funny, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Or scheming about things. But no, I look. The best thing I think I ever heard said about him was, I think it was Judge Duffin that says that I don't need to, I think it was Judge Duffin that said, I don't need to tell anybody this, but it's important to repeat that, that guy did absolutely nothing. What he did with Michael O'Kelly was just ridiculous. But anyway, obviously Len got kicked off by Jerome Fox, the judge, Jerome Fox. And then can you remember the next lawyer for Brendan?
It's a time back. I really want to forget about it, but I mean, what the heck is his name now? You'd have to refresh me.
Mark Fremgen.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah. How do you pronounce his last name?
Fremgen. I tell you what, though, but Pete, we've missed out Carl Sagilski.
Oh, okay.
He was the guy that was actually, he had to recuse himself from representing Brendan, having already done a certain amount of damage himself representing Brendan, but it transpired that he was related to the Holbach, so he had to, he said he got this conflict of interest, so he had to leave it, and we just watched, obviously there's that famous bit of Making a Murderer where, Barb is saying, Steve's got good lawyers, and they were, Dean and Jerry, excellent lawyers. It's amazing for me to see, in the 5 years that Making a Murderer has come out, the amount of people that have done so much research into this case that if Dean and Jerry had been working on the case and had that kind of support from the network of people out there back then, there is no way that Steve or Brendan would have seen anywhere near the inside of a jail cell. It was Fremgen. Fremgen was the next.
Yeah, he was a lot better than Len Kaczynski, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
100%.
I get it, the fact that these people, they're motivated by their own opportunities, if you like. And we hear, don't we, that Kaczynski had just come third in an election for a judgeship somewhere. And so, of course, he's not... he's really looking to try and become Mr. Popular. And for me, what's one of the best ways he can become Mr. Popular, try and get Brendan to testify against Steve. And it's a slam dunk, isn't it,
Yeah, that Shane Henry is asking a question. I'm not going to repeat it, but I used to get along with him really good until he kind of stepped on my foot. I do get along with him. That's all I'm going to tell you. So. Yeah.
I mean, at the rally, Barb was there. Let's say Mr. and Mr. Taddick were there. Obviously, there was yourself and Laurie, and I think I'm going to get this right. Your first son, your oldest son, is Brad.
Yeah.
And you've got 5 sons altogether.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
All bees.
Yeah, you never wanted a daughter.
I did. It never happened, though.
Well, the thing is, right, because like I've been married before, as some people know, right? So as in actual fact, I've got 5 kids, 4 daughters, and just the 1 boy.
Wow, you got 5 also?
Yeah. So I was going to swap you one of my girls for one of your boys.
Yeah, but I heard girls are worse after 13. Is that true?
No. I mean, my 2, they're really quite good. They're 26 and 24, and they actually have their own. It's a flat, an apartment that they stay in. It's a house that's got they're in the lower part of the house, and there's people that live upstairs. But they actually live together, so they
get along really good. That's great.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they get on really good, but they tolerate one another, and they see the benefits of them
So what are their names?
Well, the older one is called Ali. That's short for Alessandra, which is her real name.
Wow.
But I mean, that was a shame, because when she was at school, I remember the school teachers at primary school, she was, would say, it's a shame for her, because like she's still writing her name at the top of her work, and everybody else has already written a few sentences,
Wow. Yeah.
And then the youngest one is actually the one that was a journalist student in Glasgow back in 2016, and she was the one that actually told me. Well, she didn't tell me about making a murderer. What she said to me, Dad, have you ever heard of a place in Wisconsin called Manitowoc? And I said, no, never heard of it, She said, have you ever heard of a guy called Stephen Avery? No. She said, well, there's this thing on I said, I've heard of Wisconsin. I said, I know that Green Bay is in Wisconsin, because even back then, I say I've always been of the American football teams. It's always been Green Bay. I've always liked Green Bay, going back to the days of Brett Favre. She said, well, there's this thing that I've watched on Netflix. Oh no, that was the other thing she said to me. Would the police ever deliberately frame somebody? And I said, oh no. I mean, I know people in the police, good guys. Why would they frame somebody? The risk of getting caught. That was my opinion back then. I thought, well, if somebody's, if you're going to, if you're going to frame somebody, you've got to be so careful, because you could get caught out, as the Manitowoc Sheriff's Department has been, and I'm pretty confident, absolutely sure, that Kathleen Zellner has got a whole load more stuff that she's going to produce. But she said to me, this guy Stephen Avery, he was convicted of attacking this woman on a beach, and he was sentenced to 32 years. And after 18 years, DNA evidence proved that he was innocent.
Yeah, I was out there when he left, and I remember that the police called us all liars, because the time that he left didn't correspond with the other time. But they said it took him 10 minutes to get from Michigan to Two Rivers, and on the other side of the beach where this girl was. Yeah. And it doesn't even it takes 10 minutes just to go from Michigan to Two Rivers, and then you got to go all the way to the other side of the beach. So that's probably another 10 minutes. Yeah. And Donna, to answer your question, yes, my boys do have somewhat contact with Brendan. Yeah. So, okay, to answer your question. Yeah, so, there was like 8 of us out at the yard at that time, and the police called us all liars. So I know there's some crooked law enforcement out there.
I mean, that's the thing that, you
it's really sad about that, right? Wouldn't you think you'd have honest cops?
Yeah. But no. They, and unfortunately, they. I would say to anybody that hasn't read the Wrecking Crew, check out in particular John Farrak's chapter about Tom Kusurik. And I think then you would begin to understand exactly what goes on. He was the sheriff. What he would do is if anybody did something wrong, rather than putting a sort of bad mark against the officer, putting it on their record that that they've done something wrong, he would say to them, right, okay, you've messed up, but we're not going to take this any further. We're going to forget about it. And immediately then, that guy then owes Tom Kusurik a favor in return, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It was just a classic way of doing it. We'll just avoid any kind of embarrassment here. We'll just keep this. We'll just brush this under the carpet. We'll forget about it. Yes, there was a comment there about the lawyer Fremgen, and yes, it somebody did point out that yes, the guy apparently hadn't done an actual trial. I think you're right. I think, as you say, Donna, Fremgen was a lawyer who then got the guy Edelstein involved, who, let's face it, Edelstein, I think, did the best he could and was there at the Seventh Circuit hearing, presumably in support of Brendan, and the lawyers that are handling Brendan then. But yes, he did seem pretty inexperienced. But then you've got a public defender, haven't you? It's
he was a great guy.
And then, of course, luckily, Steve Drizzen and Laura Nyrider. You haven't had a chance to speak with them either.
No, I never ran across them, even at the rallies or nothing. No, I see you a couple pics like them together with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've made a point of going and seeing.
Yeah, so how do you rate? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I've seen Steve. I've seen Steve Drizzen and Laura Nyrider. I saw them twice in Australia, and I also saw them in Edinburgh. I've seen Dean and Jerry together.
Okay.
And then I went to Amsterdam and saw Jerry Buting and David Rudolph.
Boy, you really get around.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the last thing I did was I went to Edinburgh just at the beginning of 2020, February, or the end of January, and saw Jerry Buting again. And, Jerry is really does keep a close eye on the case, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, what I sent you during the week, we'll skip the sporting. There's not much to talk about sporting wise, is there? It's the Super Bowl tomorrow. I hope the Buccaneers win.
Oh, you're going for the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I hope they win.
Oh, I'm going for Kansas City.
I know, but remember I was talking last week about the Bucs taking a keen interest in a wrongfully convicted person that was released after 37 years, Robert Dubois.
Okay.
And they've actually, apparently in Florida, down in Tampa.
All right, Julie.
They are. They've got this situation whereby if somebody is exonerated, they don't get any compensation if they have any other track record. If they have a record of having done anything else, any other sort of felony or misdemeanors or whatever. And because he'd been involved, I believe, in some sort of marijuana or some sort of drugs, they take 37 years away and he's entitled to no compensation whatsoever.
Oh.
Apparently it's the only state where that happens. So yeah, they even did a video about Robert Dubois and the efforts to try and help him. So yeah, I'll go with the Bucs. Now, love of animals. We know that Brendan has a huge love of animals. Yeah. So we're going to share a couple of things, okay?
Okay, no cars this week?
No, something different. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what we're here for, something different.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Bandit the ferret?
No.
Nope. Okay, well, let's hear about Bandit the ferret, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, so this wee chap.
Hi, Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, he's everywhere. Oh, yeah, look at that little face.
Yeah. This is Bandit the ferret, and he survived 100 minutes in a washing machine.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, Bandit the ferret is now recovering at home with his brother Mikey. A pet ferret has made a miraculous recovery after accidentally spending a full cycle in a washing machine. Bandit was given a 1% chance of survival by vets after going through a 100-minute wash when he sneaked into his owner's machine in Leeds. The 2-year-old ferret suffered a collapsed lung and bruising in the incident. Veterinary surgeon David Massey said Bandit was in a pretty bad way when he came in. The team here got to work quickly to try and save his life, said Mr. Massey. His owner's quick thinking upon realizing the situation also helped ensure we could prevent a tragedy. Amazingly, within 4 hours of being admitted, he took a few gentle steps, which is when we started to become confident that he would make a good and miraculous recovery. Bandit's owner, Jackie Redfern, said she feared the worst before a call from Vets for Pets in Leeds confirmed Bandit was responding positively to treatment. His brother Mikey had been quiet for 2 days, but as soon as Bandit was back, he immediately perked up and seemed to want to take care of his sibling and was constantly by his side. Mr. Massey warned pet owners to be careful and check their washing machines before using them, in case your pet has sneaked into it. He said, while this situation is thankfully extremely rare, washing machines and tumble dryers can often be a place our furry friends can seek out, particularly during colder weather when they might be looking for a cozy place to curl up. So what do you think about that, eh? He was lucky, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was lucky, yeah. Normally a pet like that, water and and tumbling, yeah, he got really lucky.
Well, I think they've missed out 1 or 2 bits of information even in that article, because I heard about this on the radio, and apparently the wash cycle was 100 minutes, but it was in a cold wash, so it wasn't even in warm water. So the thing was like really was like really in a bad way, very badly bruised, etc. And they interviewed the vet, and they said, of course, one of the problems is that at veterinary college there was no mention of how do you treat a ferret that's ended up in a washing machine.
Wow. Yeah, I had a friend that had a ferret. They're really nice animals. They're nice and friendly, and that kind of reminds me of the older episodes of MASH when they called Frank Ferret Face. Yeah, but
well, you see, the thing
they're
is,
nice animals. I don't remember what they eat, but they're pretty cool looking things, anyways.
They are. I think they're flesh eating, aren't they? Ferrets.
I think they don't they go after mice or something.
Yeah. I think they're carnivorous. Yeah. But of course, here in the UK, Leeds is not too far from Huddersfield, and just outside Huddersfield is where they used to film Last of the Summer Wine. And of course, it was Compo that had a ferret as well that he kept down his trousers.
Okay.
But we know that Brendan actually his favorite animal, I believe, is a cat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we've got one here about a cat. Yeah, there was a question about the 100 minutes in the washing machine. I presume it must be 100 minutes because it's on a cool wash. It's on a cold water wash. So maybe that's the reason why it was so long.
I'm doing laundry right now to catch up, and we got some cycles, and right now we always wash on 54 minutes. Yeah.
I must admit, I'm not so technically minded when it comes to operating the washing machine, but no, I mean.
I do it all here. I do the wash, and I help out the wife. I even grab the vacuum cleaner. Do you do that too?
Mm. yeah. Sometimes, okay. Yeah.
And then outside, she messes around with the flowers in the garden, but I'm usually most at and the weeding, and I'm usually most at the grass and the outdoor stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, 5 kids. I mean, the one thing that I've never been afraid of is like when they were kids, when they were babies, was like things like changing nappies and dressing them and all that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's really great that you had 5. You had 5 also.
Yeah.
And yours didn't end up with all bees, though.
No. Yeah. Not one of them had the name I wanted.
Oh, really?
It was always the mums. 3 different mums. It was always the mums that decided what the name should be.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we both participated and we both talked it over, and you know, we got you know, but then again, I wasn't too picky either, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you out of the 5, you should at least have one at least. One name that you picked out.
No. Well, the nearest was I wanted Emma, and we settled on Emily. So I was nearly there.
Well, it's
nearly
a form of it. It's a form.
Yeah. I mark it up as a win.
Okay.
So next up, Bobby the kitten survives 60 degrees centigrade washing machine cycle. So this was going back 4 years.
Wow.
Here's, I've gone a bit too quick.
Why are all these people letting these animals get in these machines and stuff?
Well, I don't think we can be too harsh on them. That's only 2 cases in 4 or 5 years, you know. But anyway, Bobby was taken to the vet when he was given fluids, but he was allowed to go home the next day. A kitten that was accidentally trapped in a washing machine on a 60 degree centigrade cycle has made a full recovery. Lisa Keith of the Meadows in Nottingham did not realize her Bengal crossbreed Bobby had climbed inside the appliance for a nap. She raced to get him out after hearing a loud thudding noise from inside the appliance. I'm sorry. I just find you imagine turning the washing machine and there's this big thud and it goes round.
It's like, what the heck is in here?
What the heck is going on? Okay. A vet at the clinic who treated him said, "In my 15 years as a vet, I've never seen a case like this." Oh dear. Let's carry on. Owner petrified.
Yeah, Julie says cats have 9 lives.
Yeah, they do indeed. Yeah. Oh yeah,
there they are right there.
Yeah. 9-month-old Bobby was taken to Nottingham Pet Hospital on the verge of collapse and needed IV fluids to treat shock. His brush with death, has seen him nominated for a PDSA, People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, Pet Survivor Award.
I guess strangest things happen.
Well, yeah. Vet James Kello checks Bobby and his owner after his ordeal. Miss Keith said Bobby was known to climb in the machine and she had put him outside before putting in a new load. But she said the curious puss must have snuck back in and hidden under a duvet before she switched on the appliance. As soon as I heard the noise, I rushed to the machine and could see the color of his fur mixed in with the quilt. I was petrified and raced to get him out, she said. The kitten was in the washer for about 2 minutes. Oh, well. So, I mean, nowhere near the length of time that...
no, the ferret was, yeah.
The ferret, no. Bobby has learned his lesson the hard way. He doesn't go anywhere near the washer anymore. Vet Tamsin Thomas said Bobby was on the verge of collapse as his body was soaked through and his temperature was dangerously low. We gently dried him out, kept him warm, and gave him IV fluids to treat shock. Mr. Kello, who treated Bobby, said the kitten had sore eyes from the detergent, but within a couple of hours was as right as rain. Okay.
Well, I bet you that ferret ain't going around the washer neither anymore, too.
No, I don't think he's going to go around that washer at all. I think you're absolutely right there. I've just realised I had a had a pupil earlier today who said that it was his birthday tomorrow, so he put put a message, soon to be, the name tag, soon to be 12, and then I put mine, soon to be 50-ish, yes, mid 50s. Just realised I'd left it on that. On that name thing.
Those are some pretty interesting stories.
Yeah. The
accidents do happen, though.
Yeah. There was a famous occasion here in the UK when the firemen went on strike, and so they called in the army to attend to some fire emergencies, and they attended in these really old vehicles, war vehicles that hadn't been used for like 50 years or so. They were called the Green Goddesses. And on one occasion, at the end of the news, there was always this, and finally, and it was a news article about what had happened. And on one occasion, the army and the Green Goddess had been called out to an old lady whose cat was stuck up the tree. They call out the firemen to get the cat out of the tree because it sort of gets stuck and can't get back down. They're good at climbing up the way, but they're not so good at climbing back down the way. And what happened was that the old woman invited them in for a cup of tea, and as they were leaving, they ran over the cat.
Oh.
Yeah. Paul Ward, can you remember that? That's exactly what
says he can. Yeah, he says on the bottom he can.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. They ran over the cat, and of course the person doing the newscaster had been warned by the TV company. Yes, you can read this one out, but you better keep a very, very straight face about it, because people seem to be quite sensitive about their pets, don't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, particularly cats, which I suppose leads nicely on to what's your thought on this whole Stephen Avery throwing this cat of his on the fire?
I don't know.
No.
I don't think he would do that.
I think, well, it's interesting, isn't it, that as soon as he got out, he must have got that dog, the Alsatian. So to me,
it's hard for me to even think of the concept. Wow.
Yeah. It's a bit bizarre, but anyway. Look, maybe like a lot of us, when you're young and foolish, you do things that you really wish you hadn't done.
Oh yeah, there's a couple times I had some drinking buddies, and we broke some windows, and I got in trouble. And my dad says, "Well, can you hang around with some other people?" Because every time we were drinking, there were always a bunch of troublemakers. But it took a stiff fine to make me grow up and realize what these guys were about.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've had this conversation with various people, including my guest midweek last week, sort of 10 days or so before, with Dr. Cliff Sharp. And we were talking about the fact that, when he was in his student days, and, when I was younger, we used to get into all sorts of scrapes and stuff, And, there was one occasion when I ended up at the police station. I was 15 years old, done some stupid stuff, and it was just a case of, you went to see the chief of police, who said, you do realize that, what you did could have had very serious consequences. I don't want to see you get back in here again. Otherwise, it's going to cause problems.
Got Julie on here. She said, didn't Stephen take the blame for somebody else? Yeah, I guess he did. Somebody else did it. And he's one of his good friends. And I guess he stuck up for one of his good friends. I don't know why, but he must have been a great friend.
Yeah. So it's kind of bizarre how some people say well, look what he did to the cat. I mean, it might not have been him, as you say, he took the blame, but it doesn't
that must have been cat. One quite awesome. That must have been one quite awesome friend.
Well, yeah. Anyway, just before I let you go, I think we got as far as we were talking a little bit about Steve and Laura, Steve Drizzen, Laura Nyrider.
I'd really like to meet those guys. I'd like to see what they're about.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe when the COVID goes away and everybody starts meeting again, maybe I'll see them somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness to them, they seem to have, Steve and Laura seem to have really pushed the boat out, trying to get Brendan out. They genuinely seem to be really concerned with trying to see justice done. And when they took it all the way to the Supreme Court and they got those amicus briefs, amicus curiae. They got people to talk about Brendan before the Supreme Court even looked at Brendan's case. And I mean, ultimately, they didn't do anything with it. And for me, that was one of the worst bits of cowardice I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, hopefully you'll get a chance to meet Steve and Laura. You would have seen them though at court.
We never really did talk. I guess Brendan's mom, they were talking to her more, but
sure.
I guess I was going to say not tossed it aside. You know how it is.
I was going to say. I mean, it's a bit of a tricky one. I mean, would you have liked more input, more chance to speak with them, or would it be a case of, what can I do? I'm going to just trust you that you know what you're doing. You're doing the best you can.
Well, I mean, if they would come up to me and talk to me and clue me in on this, I would have felt like one of the party members. But I kind of felt on the side a little bit. But I'm okay with it because it's and maybe they do plan talking to me when things get going again. Who knows?
Yeah. That's. I mean, the thing is that I genuinely, when we listen to Laura Nyrider talking, you better answer that in case it's somebody wanting you.
No, it's somebody else.
It might be Laurie wanting you to get back up those stairs.
No, it doesn't.
And do the hoovering or do the washing or something. No, it doesn't.
I was doing it before I got hooked up with you, so I'm pretty cool on that. I'm on the last thing with the blanket now. So.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was somebody else. So I can always call them back. No biggie.
Yeah. Listen, that's now 40 minutes that we've been chatting away. I think I'm going to let you go and look out.
It just seems like we just got on here.
I know it does, doesn't it? The time
I feel so comfortable with you and
flies away.
Like you're right here next door to me, and I'm holding a chat with you.
Yeah. So listen, I'm gonna say cheerio, pal, and we'll have a chat.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on again, and thanks for using one of my picks with the Martin books. That does look pretty cool. How you do that?
Well, yeah, that's. You sent me a few good ones there, so yeah.
Yeah, I figured instead of just doing one, I'll do a couple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Jazz Naz. She says, "Keep well, Pete." Yeah, my stomach is kind of out of sync today, but I am feeling a lot better. And Lori's still about the same. I think she's doing a little bit better. she'll be coming home soon if everybody wants to know. So,
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for being on here, Catnip.
Shall we go through all the
there's
people?
Christina. Christina's on here. She's from Sweden. Do you
Yes.
know her, Paul? Yeah, she's from Sweden, Paul. Can you say Sweden and not Switzerland?
I know the difference between Sweden and Switzerland. Yeah,
yeah,
Sweden.
Yeah, you've been everywhere, right? Yeah.
What's the most famous group to come from Sweden?
You got my tongue right there.
Well, ABBA. ABBA came from Sweden.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I even got their greatest hits too. I should have known that. I should have known that. Being Dassey Radio, I just got shot down.
Yeah. My actually, believe it or not, my favorite, probably my second favorite ABBA song is "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme," but my all-time favorite is the one "Does Your Mother Know?"
Oh yeah, they got
yeah. But of course, that
one of my favorites is "Honey, Honey."
Yes, yep.
Yeah, "Honey, Honey."
And I think again, perhaps in that one as well, it's the certainly in "Does Your Mother Know?" It's the one where the boys do the singing.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it's the girls that do this. Yeah.
I guess years ago they were offered so much money just to come back and do a concert.
Well, I mean, I can go back to 1974 when they were on the Eurovision Song Contest, and they were head and shoulders above every other act on the show. And I still remember the guy on the guitar, and the guitar was in the shape that, the guitar body was in the shape of a star.
Yeah.
And it was so like that 70s, early 70s pop scene, with the platform shoes and all the silver and colors and everything, and brilliant stuff.
Christina said she likes "The Winner Takes It All."
Yes.
Good song.
Yeah.
Hey, good song too, Christina.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed the Christina. Actually, I'll tell you something about Sweden, and that is, although.
Yeah, Alice like Super Trooper. That's
yes,
a good one too.
Yeah.
They got so many.
Yeah.
Although I got 2 albums from them.
Yeah. Probably the best speedway rider I think I've ever seen, because I've seen most of them. Motorbike speedway, that is, and the current world champion is Polish, and we've had a British champion for a couple of years, Ty Wiffenden. But when Tony Rickardson was the world champion, he was by far and away the best speedway rider I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Dark Side and Mooney kills me. He says, "Hey, can we hear a song from you guys, Paul and Pete?" I don't know. I know Paul's a singer. I'm not really much of a singer. I'm just a radio announcer, but I know Paul's got the voice for the singing. We'll let Paul take it away.
Hold on a sec.
Oh, no. All right, awesome.
And we'll do
awesome, Paul.
We'll do part 2 next week.
Awesome, yeah. We got Paul's radio here.
Yeah.
All right, awesome job. That was great.
Okay.
Felt like I was in there with you.
Well, I was waiting for you to come in with the lyrics, but we'll practice it for next week, okay?
Okay, maybe we'll do something next week.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of
All right, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, listen. I'm going to say cheerio. That's 45 minutes. I mean, we could just chat away for hours, but I need to get on. I've been getting up quite early to watch the cricket, but I've been going to bed quite early and reading a couple of books. As I say, Dr. Richard Leo's book about police interrogation, and I've got a couple of passages of that I think I'll share with you next week.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I sent you. I think I sent you a couple of photographs of pages that I've taken pictures of and sent them to you. So
okay,
have a look at them.
Okay.
Interesting stuff. And we'll do a little
it's
bit
going
more.
on 3:00 here, and I know by you, it's going on what, 8?
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. But
9, okay.
also Foul Play are doing their. Everybody nip over to Foul Play, and they're doing their review of. Well, we're talking about the proper books. They're doing a really good review of the Ken Kratz book.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
I mean, the book itself is rubbish, but when you actually read between the lines of some of what he's written, you get a real good sense of where that.
Yeah, well, somebody said yesterday it was called Lies.
Well, I mean, I'll put it to you. I know this is a bit blunt, but his name is Kenneth R. Kratz. Does the R stand for rapist? Because I mean, there was 15 women that he tried to sex.
Wow. Yeah. Rapist, and to me, kind of retard, but I know retard's not any good, but otherwise, rapist. Yeah, it's amazing how he can be at the level he's at with all these rapists. I heard, huh?
Well, it's for me. I'm one of these glass half full type of guys. I think it's just a shame that if you've got somebody who he's clearly a smart guy, he's a cunning guy, but to me it's a shame that he's decided to use his skill and cunning in the most appalling ways when he could be doing so much good.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll change. Maybe he'll. Maybe he'll eventually realize, but unfortunately, I doubt it.
Okay. Good night, Christina. She said she's heading to bed. I guess by her it's like 3. I guess she's got like 10 o'clock. I think she's 7 hours ahead of me.
Yes, they'll be at least an hour ahead of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you go then, and then I'm going to check out the Foul Play, and then till next week.
And we'll practice our ABBA for next week.
Yeah, I'll even have my album cover here showing you.
Yeah.
What song did you want to practice on, anyways? What's your favorite?
I think we'll go for the "Does Your Mother Know?"
Okay, I'll bring that up and I'll practice on that.
Good stuff.
Okay, hey, cheerio. We'll see you next week. Thanks for having me on your show.
You're very welcome, Pete. Bye for now.
Okay, adios. Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.